By using a simple drawing hack that we've inherited from the old masters, we establish the proportions of our painting very quickly, and thus by doing so, we get the likeness right away. So this painting over here is by Anthony Van Dyck, and this method is actually named after him. It's called the Van Dyck Z. So what is the Van Dyck Z? It's very simple. It really is just about understanding where your brow ridge is, following along the side of the nose, hitting the underplane under the nose works. If in the case you have a single light source and top-down lighting, it's very easy to see the Van Dyck Z. And once I show it to you guys, you'll see it in almost every painting. This method really works if you are having even problems getting a likeness. Just going back to that simple idea of having the anchor, your eyes not moving, and using the top of the brow, the length of the nose, and the length of the underplane of the nose and where those areas meet, you'll be able to fit all the shapes within the portrait to that Z. I have some great examples here to share with you guys of where the Van Dyck Z can be found and how I use it in a portrait. So first we have Anthony Van Dyck. This painting is actually in the National Gallery in London. I totally recommend that you guys visit it and draw from it. I did that in 2013. It was a lot of fun. Just the texture alone and the forms are just so beautiful. And if we get closer to it, I'll explain what the Z is on this portrait. The Z starts in the corner of the brow, follows the length of the nose, and then the underplane of the nose. Again, the brow. Get this length correct. And because our eyes are anchored as soon as we start the portrait, it's going to be easy to see where our brow ridge is. So we go under that brow ridge, where that meets there, and then the length of the nose from the end of the brow ridge down to the corner of where the nose meets the underplane of the nose, which is right here. And so we get this length correct, we get this length correct, and that just easily establishes our proportions. Within this piece, this is a demo that I did in Akron, Ohio, probably 12 years ago. In this, I think, is a good example of, let's go right to the model first, zoom in, and just thinking about this shape, this length, and this underplane. We go to my drawing, and we have this length, and that movement. And so if we zoom in and we look at how our Z's look very similar, right? Our angles right there. We can see how steep this angle is, how this angle comes in, and then how this angle is. And that helps us to establish that side of where the orbital cavity is, and that length right through here of that far cheek. Also helps us to establish what's going on here in the nose. Just by getting that V shape right there, that Van Dyck V. In this John Singer Sargent, we can see a very pronounced V shape where the shadow meets the light. Going across here, down, and over. Within this John Singer Sargent, even if the shadow is not super pronounced, we can still use this V shape to find the proportions. We have it in this other John Singer Sargent right here, where we have, again, the brow ridge, the length of the nose, and this underplane right through there. This painting of Donna by Max Ginsburg, who's one of my ultimate favorite alla prima painters, also shows the V, but in a slightly 3/4, slightly profile view, where if you get, again, this shape, this length of the nose, and this underplane, it's a reverse V, but it works. All right, we see even for helping us to copy paintings and drawings well. This helps us to see that the space right here, this dips down low. It tucked into this shape right here, we see this turn of the eye, right? This comes up, over, down, and then we have this part of the cheek that we lose as it kind of meets up with the part of the nose right here, right? So understanding these structures, all built upon this simple drawing hack that we have. So fun to study these paintings. We can see this V in my own self-portrait here. Again, more of an extreme profile. Right through here. The length of my nose, the underplane of my shadow. What's also interesting is that we can use a V going in from the other direction as well to help us. We start in the corner of the brow ridge, right here, and we draw across, meeting down with the wing of the nostril. And then we have the other reverse V. And that helps us to triangulate where things are going to be on the face. Even with a complete profile. This is a photograph of John Singer Sargent that we can see it. I think within profiles, we tend to look for the Z just inherently because when we see the edge, when we see the contour of the face meeting the background, we inherently already are searching for this idea of the brow, the length of the nose, and the underplane of the nose. And so I think that's something that we kind of do naturally, is look for that within extreme profiles. It's thinking about how the Z can be used inside the portrait as opposed to the contour of the portrait. I think that's where the Z is even more powerful. One last painting to share with you guys. This is a painting of mine, of my friend Grace. And in this, you can really see the Z and how we measured the proportions. Starting with the brow ridge again, meeting up with the nose, the length of her nose, and then the underplane of where the shadow, the form shadow, turns into the cast shadow of the nose. Here's that cast shadow. And so by achieving this length right through here, and this length right through here, we automatically set up the proportions to achieve a likeness very quickly. Again, because we've locked our orbital cavities in place. Because those eyes aren't moving, we can really judge that brow ridge to the length of the nose, to the underplane of the nose. This drawing shape is kind of the initial first steps that I take when I think about a portrait after I get those eyes established. There's other shapes that I use as well. I'm going to make videos on those simple shapes that add on to this in a later video. I hope you guys enjoy this simple hack that you guys can use when you're working from the model. And if you like this content, please feel free to like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm know that this content is useful for you guys and that it helps me grow my channel. If you guys have any drawing hacks that you guys recommend, please share them in the comments. I'm always learning from you guys, and I appreciate us all sharing ideas and building a community around YouTube. Take care, and I hope you guys are painting well. Have a good one.